Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are the TheFifeNation. My name is Jordan, and today I'm going to be discussing with you guys curses and how exactly they can play a major role in your build. Alright, but first, what is a curse? Well, a curse is effectively an AoE debuff that you can place on an enemy. Now, these enemies can also have, they can actually have the curse and they can cast on you, and that is detrimental and it's terrible, and you don't want that. You don't want curses on you. You want curses on the enemy. But there are currently 11 curses in Path of Exile. I actually don't know what the date is today, so I'm not going to state it. Very early on into open beta, currently have 11 curses out there. There are 2 red curses, 2 green curses, and I believe, 4, so 7 blue curses. I currently only have, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only have 8 curses in my inventory right now. I did a major gem cleanup in my stash, and I think I got rid of a few. I don't think I had any to begin with. But curses are very important to your build, and you should always at least have 1. Why 1? Well, because you can only place really 1 curse on an enemy. You can still have 2 in your arsenal, your build, I suppose, because in case you run into a different situation, you have to use a different curse. I personally do use 2 curses, and we'll get into that in just a second. But choosing the right curse and which one is for you. Well, I am an EK user, especially on this character. I'm a EK. So with EK, I am currently running just projectile weakness because very, very good ability for EK. EK is a projectile, is also a spell, but it only does physical damage. It doesn't really do elemental damage. It doesn't benefit from pretty much any other blue skill gem, or blue, skill gem. And the other red gems aren't too great. Okay? Now let's say I wanted to put 2 curses on an enemy. Okay, let's take a look at that. So if you open up your passive skill tree, you can notice at the very top there are two little keystones right here. Hexmaster. So basically your curses have a set duration of about I believe about 10 seconds they last on enemy, unless you get Hexmaster, in which they'll never expire. You get a few curse cast speed skills right up here, and you get Whispers of Doom. Now Whispers of Doom is a very, very, very good keystone, because that means that enemies can have 1 additional curse. You can run 2 curses on 1 enemy. Very useful, especially since I use 2 curses, and I would like to have both on an enemy. But again, it's situational. I only use 1. If you are in a group and you're playing with a group, you want to look at the curses. You want to look at the curses that are available, and you want to choose which one will best suit your group and which one will help the most. Now, usually, currently, that is elemental weakness, because everybody and their mother does elemental damage. EK does not do elemental damage, but pretty much everybody and their mother does elemental damage. So enemies lose about 30% elemental weakness with elemental weakness. So yeah, very, very good. If you're using any elemental attack, elemental weakness is the way to go. Now there are 3 other skill gems. What is that? Conductivity and flammability. I actually don't believe I have the other one. No, I do not. But then there is also the ice one, which is called Frostbite. Now, these almost do the exact same thing as each other. This one is actually, the base duration is 9 seconds. Sorry about that. I believe as you level up, it can become 10 seconds. But they will lose 30% of the designated weakness, the resistance, which is a lot like elemental weakness. But now, if I were to use conductivity on an enemy, it would have a 10% chance to be shocked by lightning damage, which is, yeah, it's okay. It's okay, I suppose. Suppose if you were running pure elemental, if you were running pure lightning damage, then you would use conductivity and not elemental weakness, just because you want that extra chance to shock. But playing in a group, of course, elemental weakness. And then, of course, the same goes for flammability, except with fire and the igniting and frostbite. I do not have that, like I stated. And, was it freezing? Yes, freezing. Okay. Now there's another blue gem called Critical Weakness. Now what this does is you take 50% more damage from critical strikes. This one is not too great of a one to be using on hardcore, because say you run into an elemental or neither of those, a reflect mob, and you cast this on them and you crit them, and you are like, you're having a bad day because you just died. You just one-shot yourself. So yeah, this is pretty much a softcore default kind of debuff. And then there's one of my favorites curses, Enfeeble. Now, Enfeeble basically makes the enemy do a lot less damage to you. It's gonna not hit you as much, it's not gonna do as much critical strike chances, it's not gonna crit you as much, and the crit damage isn't gonna be that high. and straight up does less damage. Very, very good debuff to have. I personally placed it on Piety. I had like 100% uptime on Piety when I played it in a group and I did this, and my group loved me for it because they were like, wow, I survived 3 shots from Piety, and I was like, you're welcome. Okay, then there are the 2 red gems, Warlords Mark and Enduring Cry. Actually, wait, no, Enduring Cry is not one. Why is it there? The reason why Enduring Cry is not one is if you look at the very top next to where it says Enduring Cry right under this, it's surprising how many people don't actually know this, but it does not say it's a curse. This is a spell and it's an AoE. It'll benefit from spell passives, and it'll also benefit from AoE passives, but it won't, of course, benefit from curse passives, because it's not a curse. So, Warlords Mark and Punishment. Punishment is the other skill gem that I do not have. So what Punishment does is it curses all targets in the area, and it causes them to suffer from physical damage when they deal their attack. So it's effectively like Thorns. Not the best debuff that you can place in the world. I'm sure there's better that could suit your build, but who am I to judge? And then there's Warlords Mark. Warlords Mark is a very, very good curse for melee users, because it not only will it give you a life leech and mana leech, it will give you a chance to gain endurance charges, which is very, very good for melee because melee users want to have endurance charges as much as possible. Also, when you kill an enemy, the enemies will grant increased flask charges. Okay, I believe I talked about them all. I actually think I missed one, and that was Vulnerability. I do not have that one also. Actually, I missed 2. Vulnerability and Temporal Change. So, Vulnerability curses all targets in the area, yes, of course, making them take increased damage from physical attacks and degenerate and easier to stun. So, again, another good one for melee. And what Temporal Change does is effectively it slows down time for you. Now, this is very, very common to run on to find on maps, to find necromancers. Necromancers generally have run curses with them, so that's why they kind of suck. That's why I kind of hate them. But Temporal Change will basically slow down time. Enemies will move slower, they'll attack slower, and if they have a debuff on them, such as another curse that you would place on an enemy using your Keystone Whisper of Doom, or from Unique, someone going to that in a second again, then it will take a longer to expire. So, like I just said, there are a few uniques. I do not actually have any uniques, but the 2 uniques are there's one ring, and there is 1 boots. Sadly I don't have them. I only have like 5 or 6 uniques currently on me. Speaking of the uniques, I heard that they found the Exalted recipe, which is kind of cool, but at the same time I've heard that it was a scam, so I don't know what to believe. But so that means if you get 2 rings, 2 of the unique rings, and the boots, and you get the passive, and you become basically this awesome god of cursing, you can place up to 5 curses on an enemy, which is really cool. If you think about it, think of how much that would help your group if you could just be like, alright, QWERT, now everybody is cursed, everything is cursed, you don't have to worry about, you don't even have to worry, everything's just gonna die. I think that'd be kind of cool. I think that would be very, very helpful to a group. Now, if you would live because you wouldn't have like resistances or anything from your rings and your boots and movement speed and whatnot, that's debatable. But you know what? You would have Enfeeble, and Enfeeble is all you need. Alright, guys. I hope this video wasn't going on too long. I hope I didn't really repeat myself too much. Curses are very, very important, and you should always run them, just because they can really suit and make your build your build. Alright, guys. I'll see you all next time. Oh wait, yes. Before I say goodbye, I'm gonna ask you one thing. Is hit that subscribe button. Because I make PoE videos. Try to make them daily. Probably not daily. Maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. Try not to overflow it. Currently I have a series going on, which is my Let's Build series. I'm doing an Ice Shot Shadow, which should be kind of interesting. The concept video for that is up, and it's just gonna be kind of fun. Alright guys, now I will end it off. I'll see you all next time.